Hello Stampers, this is Kate with Kate's Paper Creations, here to share a card with you today. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Washington State on the beautiful Olympic Peninsula in a little town called Sequim. So I'm glad you've joined me today to see the card I'm going to make. As you know, I also have a Glowforge laser cutter, and so I make a lot of things with that as well. And I like to just throw in a little bit of that at the beginning of something. So I've been busy making journals, and I made this one, which was kind of fun to make, and I'll show that to you in the other when I change the perspective a little bit. And then I've also been making shamrocks for my decorations for March, and these were so fun to make. It's like puzzle pieces, and then I've decoupaged Stampin' Up! Designer Series papers onto them to create the design. I don't know if you can see it real well there. The lighting's a little bit bright, but anyway, there's a small and a medium and a large, and it was so easy and so fun. Look at that. And here's the large one. Isn't that pretty? And it was just so fun. I just did it with decoupage. I haven't used decoupage since the 70s, I think it's been. But the Designer Series papers from Stampin' Up! Are just perfect for this. And so I just wanted to share, you know, there's other things you can do with Stampin' Up! Products besides just make cards, right? And scrapbooking, of course. But anyway, wanted to show you those. I'll be right back, and we're going to start making that card. Okay, so here's the card we're going to make today. It is actually really, really simple to make. And I need to find one other thing on my shelf before I totally get started. There it is. And I am using the Around the Bend dies. And that is these dies right here. I did not buy the stamp set that goes with this, but there is a stamp set, so it's a bundle if you want it. You'll find it on, see if I have it here. I don't think I have page 35. Yeah, page 35 in the mini catalog. And so we're going to be using the this die right here. And then I'm also using some adhesive backed sequins. I love these. They're really pretty and they're flat. They sparkle beautifully and they're pretty much flat, so it makes mailing very nice and not costing extra. The only ink I used today is Evening Evergreen, and the paper came from Country Garden Gingham. It's a 6x6 paper that's available. And one other thing, oh yes, the sentiment piece came from Something Fancy Dies, and the sentiment itself came from Peaceful Moments. That one's been around a couple of years. Where is that? Here it is. Peaceful Moments stamp set, and just made it a happy birthday card. Super simple. Let me show you how we made it. Started out with a base card, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 from basic white thick, made to create a top fold A2 greeting card. Get my bone folder here, and we'll burnish that fold so it lays nice and flat, just like that. The next piece is from that gingham, Country Gingham DSP. I cut it 4, I think I gotta remind myself. Yes, I cut it 4 by 5 1/4 to start. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. Then I laid the die on here and I punched it out, and you can see it's going to come out, but it's a little bit shorter than the card I was making. So, and I left it like this on purpose so that you could see what I did. I'm just going to cut in from the side and match up to the cut mark that the die left me, just like that, so it takes it off. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to barely catch that edge and cut it off, and then this piece will go away, and it leaves us this to put on the card. Okay, now this is just going to go onto the card flat, and I'm going to use our Stampin' Seal on the larger parts of this. So along this edge here and this edge here, and then I'm going to run it along that edge here. Make sure I'm getting it good. There it goes. Make sure I got sticky. There we go. And then I wanted to make sure that the leaves stuck down really good, so I'm going to be using my handy dandy Zig 2-way glue pen for that. And I'm just going to put a little dot of glue once it starts to move. There it goes. On each of the leaves. Doesn't need a lot, just a little bit to get it to lay down nice and flat. Just like that. And then we will put this on the card, and we're going to match up the fold corner. So this is the corner that folds, and I'm going to match it up to the top like this, and down the side right here. So the top and the side match, and then we'll press those leaves down and give them a chance to dry. Just like that. Then in that stamp set, there are some little flowers and some different leaves. And I have cut out several of the leaves. It cuts them and gives them a little bit of embossing, which is really nice. I don't know that I'll use all of these, but this is what I made. And then I cut out 3 of these little flowers out of polished pink, and these are from Evening Evergreen. And basically just scraps is all you need for these. You don't need any measurements per se for those. Okay, and then this is the piece for the sentiment. Let's get that out. Happy birthday. Here you go. And we'll get us a clear block. And we'll open up the Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to put that right in the middle, and if you'll notice, it's on the pointed. So I want to put a pointed like this, and then I'm going to put the sentiment on across there. That looks good. And we'll put that in there. Just like that. Kind of centered. That's all it is. Then what I did, I'm going to attach this with a dimensional, but what I did is I just put adhesive on the back of it to start with, so that I could stick the leaves to the back of this, and just trying to kind of get the design I wanted. And there's 2 different kinds here, so you know, I just played with it. And how you place your leaves obviously is going to be up to you. Oops, get it right side up so I can enjoy those lovely embossed pieces. Just like that. I think I like that. There's the little leaf, and I didn't use it, so we just set that aside. Now I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of this, and I'll probably put a couple of them on here so that the sticky I put on there to place the leaves doesn't stick it down funky. Peel those off. Put those in my little trash cup right there. And then we'll put this on the front of the card. And how you place it is totally up to you. I kind of overlapped it over the design. I wanted it to do that. So there's that part, just like that. And then these, I did use the glue pen to put these on, because they do have little holes in the center, and I didn't want to have sticky coming out through the holes. I put this one down flat and just kind of tucked it underneath, so it's got a little bit of a flower coming out from underneath. And then this one, I'm going to stick just a little bit of glue on 3 of the petals, and I'm going to stick it to the side of the sentiment piece and hold it in place until it starts to stick. There we go. And so it's kind of popped up. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to put glue on a couple, 3 of the petals, and I'm going to put it up over here and stick it on. So they're kind of raised like that. And see how quick and easy this card is. And then I did do some of the adhesive back sequins. Those pinkish ones are just too cute. They fit perfectly. Get a pokey tool here. And we'll put a pretty there. And one out here just to kind of draw the eye out a little bit. And obviously, again, this is totally, placement is totally up to you. Everybody has a different idea of what looks good and what doesn't. And there it is. There are 3 cards. So remember, we started with a 5.5 by 8.5 card, scored it 4 1/4, folded it, top fold card. The DSP was from Country Garden. I started it with 4 by 5 1/4, and then used the die, and you saw how I trimmed it. And then this was from the Peaceful Moments, the Sentiment, and from Something Fancy Dies for the shape that I put on there. And there you have it. Isn't that just, I think it's lovely. I love the colors and I love the design. I think it looks really nice. I hope you do too, and I hope you'll leave me a comment, because when you leave a comment, then that improves my algorithms so that more people find me. And so I would love to have you do that. I promised you a little bit better look at these shamrocks that I made using Stampin' Up! Designer Series papers. I cut these out with my Glowforge, and then I decoupaged them on on pieces that were like a puzzle, glued it all together. And this was the small, and this was the medium, and this was the large. And they were there's a little bit of a glow there because it's decoupage. But there you go. Fun, huh? So more ways to use your Stampin' Up! Papers if you're of a mind to do that. And I'm more than happy to talk to you about selling kits for those that you can do yourself, just the basic wood. Okay, thanks for stopping by. Do leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye now.